crying bride hidden inside a freezing truck. What happened next will genuinely shock you. It was a normal Tuesday morning. Marcus had been driving trucks for 11 years. Long roads, early starts, bad coffee. That was his life. Nothing ever surprised him anymore. Until that day. He was somewhere on a highway in Montana, middle of winter, snow coming down hard. He had a delivery of appliances. Washing machines, microwaves, the usual stuff. He'd picked up the load the night before from a warehouse and hadn't checked the back since. Why would he? It was sealed. It was his cargo. Everything was normal. About 3 hours into the drive, he heard it. A sound, faint at first. He thought it was the road, maybe something shifting in the back. He turned down the radio. There it was again, a cry. Not a loud one, more like someone trying not to cry but failing. Marcus pulled over immediately. His heart was going crazy. He jumped out of the cab, walked around to the back, and grabbed the handle. He swung the doors open, and there she was, a young woman, sitting on the floor of his truck, hugging her knees to her chest, shaking from the cold. She was wearing a white wedding dress. A veil was still on her head. Her mascara was running down her face. She looked up at him with these terrified eyes, like she didn't know if he was going to help her or make things worse. Marcus just stood there, frozen. Not because of the cold. He said one thing. What in the world? Her name was Lily. She was 24 years old. And what she told him over the next hour changed everything. Lily had gotten married that morning. Or at least she was supposed to. The ceremony had happened. The dress, the flowers, the guests, all of it. But right before the reception, she found out something about her new husband. Something that broke her in half. She'd gone to grab her phone from the bridal suite. And she saw a message on his screen. He hadn't locked it. The message was from a woman, and it wasn't just a friendly text. It was everything. Proof that he'd been seeing someone else for over a year. Proof that he had no intention of stopping. There was even a message from that same day, just hours before the wedding, saying he'd deal with her after the honeymoon. Lily didn't scream. She didn't cry right there. She just grabbed her bag and walked out of the building. She didn't know where she was going. She just knew she couldn't stay. She ended up behind the venue, which backed up against a loading area. Marcus's truck was parked there, the driver's door open, engine running. Marcus inside the venue, grabbing a quick bite from the catering they'd let him have. She didn't even think. She climbed into the back of the truck, pulled the doors mostly shut, and just sat there. She didn't know the truck would drive away with her in it. By the time she realized what was happening, they were already on the highway. She banged on the walls, but the road noise drowned her out. So she waited, and she cried, and she got colder and colder. Marcus listened to every word. When she finished, he didn't say anything for a second. Then he took off his jacket and put it around her shoulders. He turned the truck around. Now here's where the story gets even bigger. When Marcus drove back toward the venue, Lily started panicking. She didn't want to go back. She didn't want to face her husband, her guests, her family. She didn't even know what she was going to say to anyone. She was humiliated. She was heartbroken. She felt completely alone. Marcus could have just dropped her off and driven away. That would have been the easy thing. The not my problem thing. He didn't. He called his wife from the truck, explained everything. His wife didn't hesitate. She told him to bring Lily home. So he did. Lily spent 3 days at Marcus and his wife's house. They fed her. They let her rest. They helped her figure out her next steps. Marcus's wife helped her find a lawyer. They didn't ask for anything in return. They just helped. Lily later said in an interview that if Marcus hadn't pulled over, if he just assumed the sound was nothing, she doesn't know what would have happened to her. It was below freezing that night. She had no phone signal. She had no coat. She was in a wedding dress in the back of a moving truck. He didn't just find her. He saved her. Now I want you to think about something for a second. How many times a day do we hear something and just ignore it? A sound, a gut feeling, a moment where we could stop and check, but we don't because we're in a rush or we think it's nothing. Marcus almost didn't stop either. He almost talked himself out of it. He told reporters later that for about 10 seconds, he almost convinced himself it was just the cargo shifting. But something told him to pull over, and he listened to it. That 10-second decision changed 2 lives. Lily ended up filing for divorce. It wasn't easy. It was painful and messy and took almost a year to sort out legally. But she got through it. She now runs a small blog where she talks about life. After leaving a bad relationship, she says she doesn't write about it to get sympathy. She writes about it because she wants other people in the same situation to know it's survivable. That there is a life on the other side of the worst moment you've ever had. And Marcus, he said he didn't do anything special. He said any decent person would have done the same. But here's the truth. Not everyone would have. Most people would have driven on. Most people would have told themselves it wasn't their business. Most people would have been too scared or too busy or too unsure to stop. Marcus stopped. That's it. That was the whole thing. He just stopped. And sometimes, that's the most powerful thing a person can do. This story went viral online not because it's dramatic, though it is. It went viral because deep down, people are hungry for proof that strangers can still be good, that the world still has people in it who will pull over for a cry they almost didn't hear. Lily found one of those people on the worst day of her life, and sometimes that's all it takes to change everything. Watch the next video already popping up on your screen. You're not going to want to miss it.